How much money is considered generational wealth? Well, that's very subjective and it's up to you. Let's just be honest, it's a math equation that most of you don't know how to do. So let's break this down. We're going to talk about what is that number and what are some ways that you can actually sort out how much do you need to make sense for generational wealth. Some of you want to be like the Rockefellers and you want to create $50, $100 million. Some of you, just becoming a millionaire would be like your starting point. So we're going to talk about how to create it, how to protect it, and how to get it inside of a trust that actually can live generationally for you. So let's begin. I'm going to start with some statistics. There's a lot of statistics on this, because a lot of this is just informing you of what your choices are and what your advantages are. So generational wealth, obviously, to me, is more than a dollar amount. It's two pieces. It's the inheritance, which is the giving of the stuff. That includes money. And then generational legacy is also what I call your roots and your wings. It's the values of who you are and how you're going to pass those on to your kids. So your kids aren't trust fund babies. Don't blow it in 2.3 years, which is typically by the time your grandkids come around, the money's gone or it's been broke up by lawsuits, probate, a mess that usually happens at the end because people usually don't leave a legacy, they leave a mess. And I get a lot of clients that way. Wealth that lasts beyond you and your kids and your grandkids and your grandkids. So again, for some families, it's $1 million. For some, it's 10 million. For some, it's 100 million. The measurement is, does your wealth survive multiple generations? And what do you want? I also have clients who want to give it all to charity. And they actually say, I'm going to spend it all in my lifetime. So what is your goal and how do you want to do it? But you've got to pick, because right now you have a plan. It's called nothing. So let's get a plan. Let's get it defined, which means you'll make decisions. And that probably is the scariest part for you, is making decisions when you're uninformed and uneducated. So let's give you some more facts. 70% of the wealthy families lose their wealth, again, by the second generation. 90% lose it in their third generation. Again, the 2.3 rule. That's known as shirt sleeve to shirt sleeve and 3-generation phenomenon. I've never actually heard that before, but that's a fascinating one. Proper trust, tax strategy, financial education are the only way to create the cycle or break a cycle. So for me, when I first had my son Logan in 1999, I just knew I wanted to do it different. Did I know how? No, over the course of years, I developed a plan, I developed strategies, and on paper, created kids by 10 years old that are worth $1 million. So when I pass, they will all, both of my children will have millions of dollars. And then what they do with it will be defined in the trust and how they get access to it and what age they get access and their behavior in society and what that all matters. All of this can be defined. And I think a lot of you don't realize that. And you're listening to estate lawyers who are not tax strategists. They're not doing any tax strategy. They're not doing investment education. They're not doing financial education. They're just forming a trust. And hopefully it's getting funded properly, but they're not showing you how to live within it. So generational wealth, what it means, again, not just money. It is about you. It's about your family. It's about the legacy that you're living. So I'm leaving behind, 6 New York Times bestselling books, a game, a huge database, and a big asset base of a variety of alternative assets. So at some point, you should all be talking to your kids. If they're going to inherit this, they need to learn to run these assets. So you're either going to take it down or sell it, but just to close it all up to say, I lived a great life myself and not passed on, that's not a legacy. And your legacy could be something more charitable. It could be whatever you define it to be, but create a legacy. What does it mean for you? So when you're gone for 3 generations later, they're still talking about the great-great-grandma, pa, whoever, and what they did and what they contributed and how they made changes to the world and what are you going to do about it as well. So all of this can be very, very well scripted for you. The thing I don't want is to leave what I call the surprise basket or a mess. The surprise basket creates the mess. The surprise basket is no one talks about anything. It's very traditional in older generations. It's you get what you get and don't throw a fit. Well, here's what happens. If it's not defined clearly, those kids go to war and sue each other. We have clients that have 20 years of probate. I have a widow just this year. Thank God her kids are younger and there's no blended family issues, but she's in probate because they didn't set it up right. So why is she here right after a gentleman, 44 years old? He was widowed. For whatever reason, a variety of 40-year-olds that have widowed, now they're living with their kids and no plan. And so why are they here? To get a plan and get a legacy and make sure that they now can create it the way that they wanted to create it. And I say coulda, shoulda, woulda. So the other thing when it comes to legacy and this generational wealth is the I'll get to it someday is the lazy principle. And we hear it all the time. I'll get to it, I'll get to it, I'll get to it until you can't get to it. So critical that this becomes an important part of what you want to do in your plan. So to speak to that, that's why I want you here on this channel. Click that notification button, subscribe. Share it with all of your family members that are going to have anything to do with the legacy. I want your kids and you here every day. So this is the base of your financial education. We made it family friendly intentionally. 5 years up and older can listen to the channel. Will it make sense to a 5, 7, 10-year-old in every category? No. And as they listen to it, that should cause questions. And then you in the household start inviting a money conversation. What did you learn at the channel? There's a journal if you want to grab it. It's in the show notes, where it's like, what video, what day, what are you learning, what are you going to do about it? So there's a whole way to bring that financial education. And what are you going to do when we pass? What's the legacy? This is the legacy I want. How are you, committed to keeping the family legacy together? What is your commitment? Where's my commitment? Start those conversations while everybody's healthy and functioning. So make sure you subscribe, click that notification button, and grab the journal. Handle all of that. As far as sustaining the wealth, here's a few more things to add to your checklist that you need to think about. Do you protect it through trust? Every place in the world has probate, so you will end up in probate unless you have a proper trust in the state, province, or country of which you live. Your assets should be held in trust. All your businesses should be in an entity held in trust, because trusts don't have the tax strategies that entities do. It's vital that you actually set this up right. If you don't know how to do it, call our office, get a one-on-one appointment, and talk to our team. The other thing I'm going to give you a link for is this legacy book. So this book comes with a 3-day course. So there's a small fee to go get it all and fill it out. It starts, the first page is, I'm dead, now what? So basically, here's who you're going to contact. Here's who I want to be called immediately. Here's who's the executor of my trust. Here's how you find the trust. Here's where all of this stuff is. So it should be just a blueprint to you not leaving a mess and not leaving a surprise basket. Let us help you get this sorted, get it sorted accurately. We have an amazing team. It's not just me. It's 28 other financial experts, business experts around us. So we look forward to your phone call to work with us to help you get it sorted. If you have any questions, go to Ask Loral, ASKLORAL. Ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.